Good morning, sir.
Yeah, are you guys
Good
able
morning,
to
sir.
hear?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Morning, sir.
Okay, and can you please respond this Microsoft team?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Gautam, for confirming. Let us start right now, and we conclude today's session. All the manual testing concepts and everything. Next week, also the situation is bad in Bangalore. We couldn't able to open as well, and you will get the notification kind of things like when we are going to start the institute. So before doing, let us see the agenda. What are the things that we covered, and is there any pending topics are there so that we can able to cover today's session. So let us see right now. So we have completed the SDLC model and the STLC model and defect life cycle model and the QC tracking. So here I will show you the latest version right now. I have shown you the Mercury quality center, right? I will show you the some of the screenshots are there which I have taken for you guys. It is the latest ALM 12.5, which is the latest version right now. And I will show you that there will be no difference what it will be in this. So I will show you this ALM 12.5. You can get to know this. There will be no only the GUI, the color change will be there. That's all. So we have completed. We have completed these topics onto the creating the test cases. How we can create the test cases. We have seen that how we need to import. We will be importing the test cases in quality center also. Once you are ready with the requirement, understanding the requirements, what is the test case template that you will be following in this? Test case template is very important, guys. So even how the test case template is designed, it should be in sequence. It should not be jumbling like first test case name, then it is like actual result, then it should be the sequence what we discuss. Then we have discussed the white box testing and black box testing, levels of testing we have. Today one more topic we'll try to discuss what are the different techniques that how if some of the AUT is given by the interviewer, how we can understand what are the different black box techniques are there. So we will discuss these black box techniques also at the last. Then levels of testing we have discussed this, and test plan we have discussed this, how the test plan looks like, and these are the pending topic. This is like pending. So before starting the FAQs and some of the things, let us show you the ALM 12.5, which is the continuation of yesterday's session. So this is the for you 12.5 is the latest ALM which I have taken for you. When you see this, the application, whatever is there, application life cycle onto the login part, it will be the same. The same we have right here. Let us correlate this each and everything. I think it is open. If it is open, we can see. Okay, yeah, it is open. So don't consider this many. So just we need to have the three things: test plan, test lab, and defects. Correct? That's what we need to check into this. The other things will be there. That is not from our end. So let us authenticate, click and log in. Once you click and log in, then we will be finding this page. This is introduction page. We will be having this similar page as well. Okay, login page as well. How it looks like with the logout and password. When you see here the username, password, authenticate, so that means they have not changed from the Mercury the home page. It is the same, only the color format they have changed, like Mercury, like HP application life cycle. So when you see here, when you see here, it is it has a difference. Okay, let me work out in such a way that in right and left you can able to see the two things. Now you are able to see the differences, right? So when you see both are same, both are the same thing that you, whatever the username, whatever the password, whatever the things that you need to provide, authenticate, and everything it is same. It's a checkbox and everything is same here. Coming to the next slide, next one. This login also, this let me view the login here, authenticate. So this application life cycle, readme, what's new, everything also, this is also the looks like same. See here, so the content here is what is the Mercury Quality Center, what is new, what is tutorial, guidelines, everything. So it gives the pop-up. Okay, so close this pop-up window. So once you close this pop-up window, it will be similar thing that what you have, what you are going to do there. Okay, let me now when you see here, this is the same window what we have seen, correct? So let us move next slide. So this is a test. This is like management. We don't need this management. So when you see here, so when you see this left hand navigation, so dashboard analysis, dashboard, let it be added anything. Just we need to have three things. What is the test plan, test lab, and defects. So these three are very important for us to do our work. Test runs, that we no need at all. So if you want to validate that how many runs, here you can get the reports. That is the meaning of a test run. So let us see here. So when you see here, so these are the navigations. This is the module that Q1 quarter 1 release, quarter 2 release, and this is one of the module. So the same thing when you want to write the SQL queries in your, so the same thing you need to write down row count. So these are the row counts. So this is a so when you see show cell star from, so when you try to see here, it is a Teradata queries, guys. So don't be afraid on this. Why show cell is there? So Teradata, it will be written in show. Okay, this kind of stuff. So that's the reason. So when you see this, the structure of the table should be displayed. So when you see this, the queries are very simple. When you compare with the manual testing, the ETL queries we can write very simple. Like whatever you have created a query into SQL, you need to post this and expected result you need to make it. So this is the test plan. So let us jump on to the test plan, our test plan, and see like the same thing, the color format is gonna change, that's all. And when you see this, all the things are same. So I was telling TC01, right? Test case 01, test case 02, the same format with the project name they have added here. So that's what you can also follow, but this is also right that you are following. So once you are click this test case, you will be seeing the same thing, details, design steps. So in design steps, all the test cases, whatever you have written, it is same. Now jumping to the second tab, next one, next slide. So that means test plan, wherever you are writing the test cases, it does not change anything. So these are nothing but a test lab, guys. So let me click on test lab and show you the things that will be same. It will not going to change anything. Okay, so lab. This is the test lab. When you see here, the same thing. Here the suit, here also same. So when you see, each and everything will be the same. So you might get question, sir, here name is there, test name is there, type is there. This you can change whatever you want, guys. So there is like a column is there. So if you want the same thing, where is the name? Yeah, this is the test name. They have modified the test name to name. Yes, name here. Name is not there. Okay, type. They have given this type. Yes, status. Yes, duration. Yes, the same thing. All are. If you want to know the who has been tested this, you can create this. Who has tested, which is a keep this. You can keep this tester name also here, and you can project. So that's where you can make it out.
Sir, font is small.
Okay. So I made you to make the difference these two. If you want the font size, you can't able to see these both difference together. So this is a tool. If you want me to increase the font, you can't see this difference. Okay, let me share you the things. Okay, so this is a tool which you can able to see. Each and every content is there. If you make OK, it will get aligned there. Okay, and if you don't want this test plan everything, so move it to right side. So if you don't want, select this and move it. If you want this execution status, whatever you want, you can pull from there to the. Imagine you want the tester name, so you can pull this to right side. So that's all. When you click OK, it gets aligned everything. What are the expected things we want, it will get aligned. So this is the way that you can make the changes. So that means test lab also you will be having the same thing. Coming to the defects tab. So the defects tab, okay, let me increase the font size. Hoping so you are able to see the. Now when you see here, so these are the run IDs. It is changed defect IDs. So these are the defect IDs, these are the run, and these are the test names. So this is also can be customized. Let me show you this. So when we have this a customization on the column wise, whatever we want, you can show this here. So here defect ID is there, run ID we used to call it. So this is a small difference. If you say a defect ID also, it will not be gonna change, but here only the naming conventions is gonna change. Defect ID here we will call it as, but in the 12.0 we will be calling as a run ID. And the different formats is same. So try to make a note. In the older version we will be calling as a defect ID, but in the newer version we will be calling as a run ID. Okay, so and the remaining things, whatever it is there, it's same. When you see here, try to make the change here, attachment history, and now when you see here, so attachment history here, a report is given, test description also given. When you select which type of description we can find out. So the same thing, select here and import. So how you have selected, so go here and make it the export here and select all and import this name. In the latest version it has given we can import this in a PDF as well. So here we can import as a PDF. So that means test lab it is same, test plan it is same, defect tab also it is same. So that's what I was telling you. When you make the hands-on onto the Mercury Quality Center, which is a active version, now once you are made this, then it is very helpful for you folks to get work on to the 12.5 or any type of version onto the Quality Center. So this is the latest version, which is like 12.5. So to make you the confident that there is nothing getting changed from the previous two right now. So that's the reason that whatever it is there, it's same. Okay, run ID is different now. So here when you see defect ID, you can able to make it out. You still do exist the defect ID in the defect tab. Okay, try to understand this. So still do exist this. So run ID taken for the filter. So it is taken as this filter kind of stuff. Okay, so let me check whether it has here run ID. they don't have this project name, project closure. If you want anything, you can add it. Estimation.
Sir, I think that is under test run.
Test run.
No, it's not on the defect, sir. It's on test lab.
Yeah. The window is in different test. Okay, yeah, got it. So modified, when it is get modified, this we can pull this. These are the contents. When it is modified, everything we can. So here, if I want to know the filter wise for your name, the same thing you can do here, filter. If you want to know how many defects you have raised and what are the status for that. So imagine if you want your admin. So this is a condition, right? Admin, search your name, and there is like search button is given like this. Fine. So select this. It will get all your name, whatever you have find out, and what are the status for this particular thing. So that is the advantage that this quality center we have. Any questions here, folks, on the 12.5? Now you got to know the familiarize onto the latest version onto the 12.5. Okay. The same thing whatever we does in yesterday's session, the same thing here in 12.5 latest version. 12.54 is the latest version. There also it looks like the same, like as we have seen in the yesterday's topic, the HP quality center on the Mercury. Okay, so let us jump on to the things, and so we completed this. Let us go and see some of the FAQs. Okay, I was telling you that I will do this kind of stuff, right? So when you see this, we have not discussed this. Test plan is the very first. So once you understand the requirement, once you understand the test requirement, the lead will be writing the test plan. In test plan, what are the different contents he will be writing? Resource allocation, test environment, test schedules, test functionalities. So each and everything he will write down. And not only this, in addition to this, so automation, how many environments, and who are all are the testers, what are the business BRD requirements, what is the meetings that it need to conduct, and how many hours it gonna take each and every module for testing everything. Then once he designed the test cases, so once he created the test cases test scenario, so that means we will prepare the test scripts. We'll call it as a scripts. Here by Quality Center we are using, this is one tool. Whatever we are updating in normal English, test scripts. Test cases, test data will be maintained in the test design phase. Test execution. In this test execution, what we will be doing here is, in this test execution, we will be pointing to the, one second guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not able to hear. Now you are able to hear, I think. Okay. Thank you for confirming. So now when we were discussing about the execution phase until the defect life cycle gets closed. That's the reason it is called defect life cycle. Find, identified a defect or encountered a defect. Once you identify a defect, you will report this to the developer. Developer will open the defect and he will fix the defect. Once he fixes the defect, you will be verifying and you will be sending each and every day a status report saying that until this test closure report has been closed all the test cases. Once it is done, then you will close the defect. So this complete is said to be a defect lifecycle. Now, once you identified, imagine regression testing. Why we are calling as this regression testing? Once you are verified this case, you need to confirm when the new functionality should not impact the other. When you are testing this, even though you don't have any test case onto the functionality, imagine right now the developer, whatever you raised a defect, he fixed the defect. On fixing this defect, what developer has done, has opened one more old code. Whatever the code was there, he opened that and he is able to see that each and every enhancement on that area. So that means each and everything, whatever it is opened, is the defect and how conventions. Okay, so as we were discussing that last session, cycle 1, cycle 2, I'll see that screenshot is there. We have seen already that how we gonna take the defect, and how you gonna use this defect for your time period. Okay, yes, Subram wants to show in the quality center. Yeah, no worries. So when you see in defect tab, so click onto the new defect and make the write down like project ID, project wise, or business improvement plan, WIP, and followed by, once you have inserted the business improvement plan onto the which release, imagine release business improvement plan 14 is your release, then in which environment, INT or SAT environment. Okay, got it. So share this. So when you see here, each and everything, whatever it is there here, medium, if the defect SIT is environment, and you will be writing down not what exactly the count. Imagine count is not matching from source table to target table. So then you should be like so what is the count is not matching, then it is a high severity. So if you want, you can keep, or if you don't want also, you can leave it off. So now the status is new. So that means once the status is new, you will be reproducible state. Steps to reproduce. Once you have written like the count of the source is count of source, you need to write down the query. What is the select count star from EP table, if you are using the employee table as as a dimension. Okay, so it will give the count of the each and every table. If you want any filters where department DEPT number is equal to, you want to count the count of the department, so this is a source query. The count of target, the same thing, select FACT underscore. So this is a target FACT fact I am writing, where DBT number is equal to 10. So when you see these are the both counts, what is the actual result, expected result? Once you raise this defect in the status called new, so it will go to the email notification to the developer. So the developer, what he will do, you will be assigning here the couple of things as well. Let me select the project. Let me return the assign to, which is a developer. Only one developer we have. So the status into the project wise, which module, second module. So let me give the priority also very high. These are the things. So when you see here, so each and everything you what you want at the prerequisite, it is given. Now once you have seen this, developer has seen this defect, and immediately he will try to check the count on his environment. Once this count looks like the same count is mismatched, then what he will do, he will try to raise a defect. The same thing, once he raises a defect, the developer will check this and he will get to know open, and he will write the comments like fixing. So let you know once fix is provided. So make the comments dev, so then he will make down. So this is the way that he will try to add each and everything. So once the developer has fixed this defect, he will change from open to fix. And the description what he will be providing, developer is like fix is provided, please retest, and he will change the comment to its a status to fix. Once as like developer, how you are able to see the tester, the same thing he will change the state. He checked this, it is a fix, and then he will check that what fix he has given. So he's telling to retest us. So then right now retest it, saying that retest after retest not able to reproduce, hence closing the defect. So this topic yesterday we discussed, but one of the folk want this, so that's the reason I am again it is explaining this kind of stuff. So details, go to here and close this. So in this way you will be closing the defects, you will be working on to the defect and you will be closing the defect. So this is the reason that each and every person will be doing the things like adding, deleting and closing. So the update from the defects. Ticket. Okay, what is the ticket in the sense? Right now we are talking on to the defect tester thing. When you see developer will say that this is a bug. Ticket, any supporting guy, any support, imagine that it went to production, and the production guy has seen that it is one of the defect they have find out at the production. Now imagine all the SDLC and they have delivered in this to the production. When the production a support guy, tickets has been raised. No. We will not call this as a tickets. We will be calling as a defects. Why? We are the testers. The support guy will tell these are the tickets. Try to understand. The developer will not say that it is a defect. Those are the bugs he will tell. Try to understand the real time how they are going to speak. So that is very important. If you need to tell that this is like defects. Until this defect is closed, until this journey has been done, so you need to carry forward, you need to check each and everything. So that this gives the clear indication that once you are executing the test cases and you will be reporting to developer. This is finding a defect, finding a bug, and it is given to the verification for testing. Once it is tested from you, each and every day you need to send a report, even though it is open, it is like fixed, it is in verification state, whatever it is there, until it is these are the closed, also you need to send a report from your end. So that's the reason each and everything whatever you are going to do here, it is added here in this test report until it gets closed, and after it gets closed also you should send a report kind of stuff. So we have seen this. So test plan. So this is a sequence, guys. You should not miss out this sequence. You should not miss out this sequence onto the process. So gray box, levels of testing. Okay. From here these are very, very important, guys. What is retesting? Very, very important interview question is, what is the difference between retesting and regression testing? What is retesting? The defect once raised, and as the development team fixes the defect or bug, it has to undergo the testing process again to same functionality to assure that fix defect is working as expected. This is called retesting. So when you will be using retesting in the defect fix, you need to tell that when the defect has been raised by you and it is taken by the developer, has given a fix to you. Once the developer has given a fix, then whatever you are confirming that defect is no longer or still do exist, that is called a retesting. Now let us see the traceability. Now I am thinking that you are familiarized onto the retesting. Can anyone folks tell me that what is the difference between retesting and retesting? What is the difference between retesting and regression testing, guys? Anyone?
Sorry.
Regression is for the old one, but retesting is for the fixes which developer has done.
Yeah. Okay. Retesting is once you raise a defect, the defect is fixed by the developer. When you are reconfirming that the defect is no more, when you are testing this is called retesting. And coming to the regression, by addition of the new code, by changing of new functionality, the old code, the old functionality should not change. When you are confirming that the old functionality remain changed, that is called a regression testing. So try to understand the difference are very important. Why means the people will get confused. What is regression and retesting? Try to get practical when we discussed on retesting at the time of defect life cycle. Okay. So then traceability matrix. So traceability is very important, guys. So this is also called as RTM. What is RTM? Requirement traceability matrix. In some companies they will call it as only the matrix testing. Try to understand the synonyms for this is, so the interviewer can ask you what is a matrix. You should be consider that this is he is asking onto the requirement traceability matrix. Or when he try to ask what is traceability testing, he is considering that he is asking you the requirement traceability matrix, guys. Try to understand. So this is one of the important interview question. Traceability matrix is nothing but mapping between the requirement and test cases. How many test cases written and traceability and practical requirement, all the test cases are specified in the requirement. So let me show you how the traceability matrix is designed for the guys. Imagine, so you want to prepare the traceability matrix here. Okay. So if you want to prepare the RTM, like as usual, you will be creating one Excel sheet. RTM, okay, for project P0123, whatever the project name is there. You're gonna add this. So see here, the RTM for the project is sequence number, or we will make it as a test case ID. So then followed by this. So serial number, then requirements, or we will call it as a module, or the user stories, anything we can call this. Okay, so then it is like total number of test case. So this is the format of making the traceability matrix, guys. Comments. Okay. Okay, so this is the traceability matrix. 1, 2, okay. So the requirement is imagine the first one is sign in module. Okay, add basket. And the third one is search module. So these are the requirements, guys. When you see this set of requirements modules, so imagine total number of test cases which you have written. You will be TC underscore 01 is the test case 01, TC underscore 02, TC underscore 03, TC underscore 04, TC underscore 05, TC underscore 06, TC underscore 07. So imagine you have written around 7 test case. Let me wrap up this. Okay, imagine you have written all the test cases under TC underscore 25. So that means 25 test cases are there. Imagine from here you will be pointing as a TC underscore 26. Okay, TC underscore 27. So like this too. Imagine you have written TC underscore 55. Okay, and here TC underscore 56, TC underscore 57 to TC underscore 76. Okay, so like this you have written. Now can anyone tell me what is the first one? What is the use of RTM? Why we are writing this RTM? Why we are writing this RTM, guys?
You can track the.
Yeah, first one is we can track how many test cases are written for a module. Okay, so here we can get to know that how many test cases we have written. So when you see what is the count of here, 25 you have written. What is the count of here, 25 to it's here 30 test cases we have written. Okay, so like this we can track. And the second use, can anyone tell me what is the another use as well? By creating the RTM, we will be getting to know how many test cases are there here. And the second one is we can track every module we have tested. We can get to know that all the test cases, all the requirements are covered from our end. All the requirements we are covered and written the test cases. Try to understand. This is very important, that so everyone will be doing their own modules, but they will not check whether we have completed all the requirements or not. If any requirements are missed out, then it is a problem for us testers. Why we have not tested this? That is the reason that we need to confirm that this RTM will help us whether we have covered all the test cases in this module or not, or we have written all the test cases from this or not. So this is very important to get to know this, guys. Any important? So if the interviewer asks you what is the content of, what is the skeleton, what is the template that you are following while preparing the requirement traceability matrix, so this is the content. Now the one more interview question: who have you prepared RTM in your project? Yes. So this is RTM which you have prepared, guys. Try to understand, try to be like digest yourself. You need to tell that this is the RTM that you have created. Now imagine, now you get, I will tell you that one more question. This sign in module has taken by the Kumar. Okay, imagine Kumar is done, and this module has been done with the Prayang, and this module has done with the Krishna. Imagine 3 modules has done with 3 different persons. Now all the 3 persons will prepare the RTM. Now try to understand the question, guys. Have the 3 persons will create RTM?
No, sir.
No. Why? Yes, Priyank. Now RTM is prepared by only one guy throughout the project. That's what I am telling you. You should tell that I was created. Why? Means this work should be done by the lead, but you are proactively, you are telling that I am creating a RTM for my project. That means now the question here, Krishna told yes, no. So if I given this to prepare by Krishna, who will prepare the RTM, Krishna? I mean that which is the reference that you will check, or you will call all the Prayang and Kumar, and you will ask that how many test cases you have written, how many you will go and ask, or how you will create.
Yes, sir. I will go now.
No, you will go and ask.
No, I mean we can directly pull from the tool itself.
Absolutely, that is the answer the interviewer will be looking. So that he will get to know that, he will ask the interview question how you will create. You should tell that in quality center we will get to know each and every module how many test cases. I will count and I will write the test cases names, and I will close this. Then how you will get to know the requirements? You told that you are getting this from the quality center. how you will get to know this requirements? From which document?
BRD.
Absolutely, from BRD or test plan we will get this. We will gather this from the test plan and we will see this. Okay, so these are the things that interviewer will be asking. We will think that it is only one small thing, but there it is plays a very important role in the
Sir, one doubt, sir.
interview question. Yeah, Prayam, you are asking something?
Yeah, sir, in total number of test cases, we have to mention this TC01, which is test case 1, test case 2 to test case 25. So this has to be mentioned after the test cases is planned, right?
Absolutely. Once you are completed all the test cases by you and your at the time of doing the
Testing.
test case, not at the time of doing the defect closure, right?
Right.
At that time, and when you are all your testing is done, at that time you need to point out.
Okay, sir. So here
Yeah,
is
normally this is not done at the initial stages. It is done at the middle or the last stages of the projects.
Yeah, right, sir. So in requirements a module, this will be written from the BRT or user case or whatever. But in
This
test,
we will get the BRD.
yeah.
This we will get from our
Okay.
list.
Okay,
So
test cases.
we are confirming that all the requirements we have written. Imagine here we have not written for this. Then we should tell that. If the same thing, if it is an agile model, so each and every user stories will be written here, and how many test cases for that user story also will be written.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fine. So I'm thinking that you understood this. So RTM. So this is one of the interview question, guys. Now we will move to the next one. Test strategy.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Sham.
Sir, can you please go back to that RTM template, sir? Sir, there the different modules have been tested by different testers, and if the Kumar has started the test case from TC01, and if the Prayag is testing, even he will start from TC01 only, sir.
Okay,
Then how
okay.
the requirement will be?
Yeah. For to make you the calculation, I made like this. Okay, so from if you want to make it as a neutral, you can make it as a 01. So he will make as a 01 normally.
Okay, sir.
Okay, 01, and for the making the calculation, I made this.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the way that RTM will be gonna work. Now let us move to the next one. What is strategy? Right now, strategy is very important in the ETL, guys. So you will get list of strategies that in ETL that you will getting to know how many strategies you. The important interview question right now for the ETL is, can you let me know what are the different strategies you have involved in your project? What are the in manual testing we have plan, and inside the plan itself we will write down the strategy, but not in the ETL, guys. The test strategy is formal description of how software product will be tested. I will tell you, few organization will follow individual documents, guys. Test plan 1, test strategy 1. In some organization, they together will be involved and they will release only test plan. In test plan itself, they will add on the strategy. The test strategy is like product how you are testing is developed for all levels. Each and every level, the strategy is ours. Like functional testing, if 6 months of project, how many days we need to take at the functional testing? Integration testing, how many days we need to take? Who all will be involved in the integration testing? System testing. So each and every time interval will be calculated in this. Not only this, resources also will be divided for this each and every functionality. Now tell me, a associate engineer and the senior software engineer is there. Among these two persons, the easiest module is given to the associate. The functional testing part, it is given to the associate engineer, and the senior guy he will take care of the integration and the system testing. Are you getting this? And again, regression testing is given for the it's like software engineer or a associate engineer. Why the regression test cases will be more? Now tell me, now imagine Flipkart, take one example, Flipkart application, a retail application, or any insurance application, or any automobile application. Imagine in this enhanced project, the functionality you have written around 250 test cases for the new enhancement. 250 test cases with all the different modules, you have written 250 test cases for this release. Now the interview question, right now you kept one project that you are working. Can you tell me whether the regression testing, how many test cases will be there? How many test cases you have in your regression pack? That this is the interview question, guys. Normally, never ever do the. I have seen the people that they are telling that around 250, 300 test cases something. No, I will tell you the real time. You will be having 2,000 test cases if you are considering a big project as like Flipkart. 2,000 regression test cases. If you are considering a big release like Flipkart. If you are considering a small releases, like if you are working onto the ETL, you will be having around 800 to 700 test cases in regression pack alone, I am telling. So you might get question, sir, this question should get from your end, but I'm not sure. I am raising from my end and I am answering. Sir, you are telling that regression test cases are this. These are the functional test cases, sir. Okay, let me write down here. So imagine the enhancement happened on the login page, sir, and login page, and we have written around 150 test cases. So this is the enhanced project. This is a new functionality. Okay, so this is a new functionality, sir. When we are talking on the regression pack. Okay,
Let's get started.
regression pack. Sir, there will be a login functionality and all search functionality. And in regression pack, imagine you have around 897 test cases. Now, tell me, sir. Now in regression, you have already around 135 test cases. Is this 135 test cases also I need to run? Any answer someone will provide me? At the time of running the regression, I need to run 135 test cases which we have in login module.
Yes.
So we have
Yes,
to begin from starting.
Sir, but in the regression pack itself, we would have designed the regression test cases like that will also cover those login things.
Tell me. I told this is a new project and this is regression in the sense it is a project. Now, this 150 test cases, whatever we have, these are old content, right? Old code. Why you will test this login old code? This will be removed, right? Why you will test this? And this login functionality will get removed and this new functionality, new test cases will be added. Why you will run again this 135? If you run, all the test cases will fail.
Yes, sir. This is old, yeah. Yes, sir.
Old. So try to understand here, you will not go on a run this at the functional and everything, you will run this. So here, what you need to do, so the new concept comes when the old and new is there. You need to, okay, now it is done and you will minus here and you will release this project with 150 test cases. You will not run this. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Now imagine this is a release 14. Release 14. Okay, this is a release 14. Now after this release happened, now you are going to release 15. Initially what you should make out before starting? You need to remove from the regression pack the 150. So regression pack. So whatever you have right now in regression pack, you should remove this regression pack, the old test cases, and you should add these new test cases. That means what you will call this, the removing or changing these old test cases to new test cases, we will call this as a revamping test cases. Revamping the test cases. Where you will be doing the revamping test cases? Anyone? In which level of testing, in which type of testing you will be doing these revamping test cases? In the regression testing. In the regression suite, we will call it as the set is called regression suite. From the regression suite, what we are doing? We are removing this one, whatever we have right now. We are removing this all the test cases, and we are adding the new test cases here. It answers your question. Is it clear, guys? Have you got the meaning onto the revamping the test cases? That is changing the test cases or removing or updating the test cases from the regression suite. Okay, let me revamping the test cases is nothing but when you see I need to make changes onto this pack wherever the regression testing I need to prepare. Why? Imagine the new release is on to search page. Correct? Search page. So for this search page, search module, I need to make changes from here to here. I need to make addition, or I need to remove this and add it here for this, for making the regression test cases. So for this, what I need to do? I need to change this existing functionality. I need to change the existing functionality. Test cases. That changing the test cases or adding the test cases, or if any duplicate test cases are there, if I want to remove those, that method is called revamping the test cases. Revamp, change the test cases. Yeah. Okay. So this is called a revamping the test cases. So when you are revamping the test cases, the new functionalities, whatever it is there, it will be added here. So that test strategy need to take care of the testing as required. The test team analyze the requirements, write the test strategy. Now the interview question: who will prepare the test strategy? Who will prepare the test? Yeah?
Test team.
Test team only, but among the team, lead will prepare or you will prepare? Who will prepare?
Lead.
So this activity is given to the lead. He need to prepare this. So that's the reason this test strategy is prepared by the lead. Now, as we have seen that how you gonna answer for the what is test plan. Test plan is a document that describes the object, scope, approach, and focus of a software testing effort. The process of preparing the test plan is a useful way to think through the effort needed for the validate the software product. The completed test plan document will help each outside the test group understand why and how we are validating. So this is very important. So if client asks you, if project manager asks you, then for them to get to know that how you are validating, how you are testing, it is very important. Test plan document contains introduction, scope of testing, in scope, out scope, feature to be tested, feature not to be tested, test strategy, test environment, test entry criteria, exit criteria, release deliverable, and release resource details, and training requirements, risk, etc. So this all are comes under the test plan. So what you need to do? First, interviewer asks you, can you tell me some contents in test document which you have seen? So try to tell at least 5, then stop. If he asks a few more, then try to give 3. Then if he asks 3 more, some more, provide this many. So imagine if you have given all the things at a time, all 10 to 15, then he will ask a few more. At that time you don't have. So that's the reason when they are asking some interview questions, so try to give only the limited things. Again, you need to make the interviewer to ask some more. Then at that time you should keep some different content and you need to tell. So that's the reason each and every test strategy has an approach. Yes, I tell yes. So this approach is one of the important. What is the test strategy approach? It is considered. So approach is considered here. Approach is considered here. So test strategy is considered how many hours and which is the sequence of testing you will be doing everything, and what is the resource, everything it will be covered here. So then, okay, so this is about the test requirement, guys. Now, a few more interview questions are there. When the testing process starts, then you will be starting the testing process. So the answer it is, the testing process starts after requirement analysis. Remember this. Writing test cases, reviewing the test cases, etc. So this is called testing process. Actually, testing starts after the coding. Here it is testing process in the sense executing, guys. Test execution. When it gets started, when you write the test cases, when the peer review is done, that is where. And not only that, when the developer gives a code to you, then you need to start the executing the test cases. That is the matter here. So you need to tell both, not the once the developer given I will start. No, you should tell that from your end what you will be doing, and the developer end what he will be giving to you. So that is the reason that test process starts on to your side and developer side. How can you say that you have done good testing? So this is one of the frequently asked question. How you will say, how you will guarantee that you will be telling good amount of testing you have done? How? Test completion with certain percentage pass. It's out of 100% metrics, you have passed all the test cases. Coverage of the functionality reaches the specified point. So that means all the coverage, all the test coverage you have, all the test cases are completed. Bug or defect rate falls before certain levels. So whatever you have raised the defects, those has been made to 0. Or all the critical medium test, all the critical medium or the high defects are closed. So that is where that you can say that you have done good amount of testing. Correct? So this is one of the thing that you need to make 3 points, and you need to tell the interviewer that you have done this. How can it be known when to stop testing? So start, now who will tell you that, or how you will come to know that you need to stop testing? So normally what you will say, the deadline, release deadline, testing deadlines, everything is met. One case, test cases completed. Yeah, this is the right answer. This is the very important in this group. When the test cases completed with certain percentage pass, test defects spent and test budget spent and completed. That the third party, how you are getting the budgets. So all the budget it is get completed. You can say that stop the testing. Coverage of functionality requirement reaches the specified point, the matrix which I am talking. So when it is completed, so you can complete. Defect rate falls below the certain level, so you can say that you need to stop the testing. So these are the 5 criteria that when you will be stopping your testing. Now, what is entry criteria and what is exit criteria? Entry criteria is also called as entry condition and entry check, as a set of precondition to start an activity is called. Now can you tell me, anyone tell me, what is the entry criteria of functional testing. What is the entry criteria of functional testing, guys? A set of precondition to start an activity is called entry criteria, right? Now, what is the entry criteria of the integration testing? All the test cases from the functional test cases should be completed. All the test cases from the functional level should be completed. What is the entry criteria for sanity testing? The smoke testing should pass. What is the entry criteria for system testing? All the test cases from the system testing should be passed. What is the entry criteria for regression testing? Once you confirm that system testing test cases are passed, that is the entry criteria for regression testing. What is the entry criteria for user acceptance testing? When you will conduct the UAT, that is called entry. What is the entry criteria for UAT, guys?
All the regression testing cases are complete.
All the regression testing should be passed, and all the testing should be get completed. Not all the testing, Prayan, you need to specify the regression testing. When you tell regression, the above should be passed, correct? So that's the reason specify that above the what is the level. So when you try to specify the regression testing, that means above the when you will start the regression testing, when all the above should be passed, then only that is where this level is important. That is called entry criteria. Exit criteria means post condition. So when you will say that what is the exit criteria for sanity testing? What is entry criteria for sanity testing?
All the test cases of smoke testing is passed.
No. Exit criteria.
Exit criteria.
All the
Test cases of sanity testing is passed.
Yes, all the checklists whatever you made on the testing, so those should be working fine. What is the exit criteria for system testing? Exit coming out from the system testing.
All the test cases of system testing is passed.
Yes, all the test cases from the system testing you have executed or passed. So that is called system testing. Try to understand the exit criteria and entry criteria. So this is very important for you for the interview point of view. So he can ask the exit condition, exit check as well. Then peer review. What is peer review here? A review conducted among the colleagues are called peer review. We have already seen. What is walkthrough? A step-by-step presentation conducted by the author or by a domain expert about the particular subject to provide a common understanding to the team is called a walkthrough. So in Agile methodology, one person will be walkthroughing about the requirement. Who is that person? In Agile methodology, one person will be
Product owners.
Yes, he will walk through at the what is that meeting? What meeting he will be walk through?
Sprint.
Print.
Sprint planning meeting. So that is called a walkthrough. It is also called as knowledge transfer, KT.
Yes.
We call it as a KT as well. Called a knowledge transfer. Okay, so this is very important for you. Now, so these are the few interview questions that the interviewer will be asking. What and types.
Sir, can you tell me exit criteria?
Exit criteria, the set of post condition to stop the activity. When you will be stopping the activity, if imagine integration testing, I am telling that you will be confirming that, sir, I completed. It is done, sir. I can exit from the integration test cases. Then you will say that when you complete all the test cases, correct? When all the test cases are passed, then it is called exit criteria. Try to understand in this way what is the entry criteria for entering to the NSR.
We need to
To have
restart
everything.
again.
You need to register or you need to pay the money.
Yes, sir.
Pay the money.
Absolutely. When you pay the money, then that is called entry criteria. What is exit criteria?
After the
Getting out
Complete the course.
the course
Complete the
Completed the full
course.
course.
Get a
No.
job and go.
Job.
Absolutely. When you will get the job, until you get the job, you can come. Once the course is done, it is not. Until you get the job, you can come and ask the things. You can have the things here. So that's called a exit criteria. When it will happen, when you get the job, that is called exit. You completed all the things. It's not like today class is done, that is exit, and all the syllabus is done, that is exit. No, the goal of you joining this, it should complete. Then only it is called exit rate. The same thing here. Each and every level, when it get completed, that is called exit. When it is started, it is called entry. It's straightforward. Yeah. Now I feel that you understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let us discuss one of the important thing for you. It is how, sir, I am getting a bit of confusion. You told me that okay, I attended one interview. Imagine, okay, imagine Ajanta attended one interview, and he went to the interviewer, and the interviewer start asking, I will give you a AUT. Can you try to answer me? What is the meaning of AUT, guys? The interviewer tells you, I will provide one AUT for you. Can you tell me the cases there? Or yeah, I will mention the paper.
application.
I will give a paper to the who is going to take interview. So I will give the username here, password here. I will give one tab. I will give one more tab here. Okay, I will not use this. Okay, I will give number here, and I will give the content here, and here I will try to make it as a submit. So this tab, I will give this, and I will tell him that can you please AUT. What is the AUT means? Application under testing phase. Application under testing phase. Try to understand here. So AUT is nothing but the application under testing phase, guys. Testing. So that means he is telling, so this application is under testing. Can you write the test cases for this? Yeah, have you got this, ma? Now, how to prioritize? How to get to know? So what type of testing is this? Which type of testing is this? Anyone? So this is the final class. I'm making you to understand. If the interviewer asks you what is that, what type of interview questions he is gonna ask, and how you need to answer. Once he given this, he will ask, can you write down the test cases for this? What is FT? Ryan?
Functional testing.
Oh, okay. Don't tell this to the interviewer. Okay. So let us. So functional testing. Yeah, absolutely. He is telling you to make the which type of how you will make the test cases for this. So how you need to understand here is, so which type of testing is this? Functional test cases, agreed. Functional testing, agreed. But on the basis, which type of testing is this? This is a
Black box.
absolutely. I was guessing. This is a black box testing. Yeah, you are right. Black box test. So this is a black box testing. Under the black box, each and everything. So in black box, we have some techniques, guys. Techniques of black box testing. So there are some techniques behind the black box testing. One is equivalence class partition. Equivalence class partition. The second one is boundary value analysis. The third one is decision table testing. Decision table testing. So these are the many more are there, but frequently graph based testing. No ma, this comes onto different. Don't add here graph. So these are the techniques that how you need to write the test cases. I don't know. Okay, so how you will be writing the test cases, how you need to think, this gives the value. There are many things are there, but like state transaction testing or user acceptance testing, many things are there, but mainly we will be using these three types only to get to know the any application testing. Now what is equivalence class partition? Equivalence class partition. So the equivalence class partition is nothing but when you get this kind of requirement, first what you need to do? First you should be understanding what type of requirement you will be getting here and what are the possible scenarios, possible cases which you can test here. Once you identified the possible cases, what you need to do here? You need to make it as a groups. Once you made this group, test one thing from each group. So this is said to be a equivalence class partition. Imagine, have you guys booked any show, any book my show, or have you guys booked any flight tickets or any transport tickets?
Yes, sir.
Yes, like how fast you will be number of persons need to book. Imagine 3 persons you are doing. When you click 3 and submit, it should go, correct? So imagine this is one of the AUT. For this, how you will be? Can you tell me what are the possible cases that you can test this? Anyone? Everyone can tell. What are the different possible? Sir, I can keep here A. I can keep B. I can keep C. I can keep Z. Okay, and I can numbers. Yeah, I can keep 2, 5. I can keep 0 also, sir. Here I can keep 1, and then still, and I can keep 9. Still, guys.
Keep special character.
Yeah, no, tell me. I can keep the and I keep plus, minus, division, then at the rate, correct? Then percentage, hash. Still, guys. Still, how many? What are the things that I can make? Base, correct? Then a decimals, 1.5. Negative values. Comma, colon, yeah, that comes into special, semicolon, list stop, question mark, so negative values, decimal values. Anything still there? No. So, get the possible cases. It is done, sir. Now, after getting the possible cases, segregate into groups. Segregate this into groups. Sir, I will make this as one group. Let me make some color change, guys. So that, okay, so this is one group, sir. Alphabets. So I've forgotten here to tell you, we can make the capital A also, right? Capital A, capital B, capital Z, correct? So this is one group, sir. And all the special characters is one group, sir. And from the numbers is one group. The space is one group. The space which I am using, okay, and the decimals is one group, and negative values is one group. Now after making groups, test one thing from one group, each group. If I test B, capital B, when it is not taking, is it any make sense? Now I need to test Z and A. Anyone, guys? Is it any make sense right now to test all the different 30, 26, 25 things? No. This is the way that equivalence class. So when you are getting the output, make the class wise, make the equivalence class on the group wise and test. So in how many possible outcomes I can test this complete AUT? Among this one, among these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Among 7 possible scenarios, I can test this and say that, yes, now this is done. I have tested everything and these are the cases, these are the test cases. Are you getting, guys? So this is the thing that you need to test, you need to get to know. And once now the interviewer asks you that, can you write test cases? Now you should be, first you need to think like this, and you need to prepare the content of the test cases, like how I made the content, test case ID, then test scenario, then test step, then test description. Here test description, expected result, actual result, expected result, and actual result. Actual result you need to make a column, but you should not write anything here. So test case 1. So here you need to verify. Can anyone tell me what test scenario you need to write down by seeing this? Anyone tell me?
Enter alphabet numbers.
Yeah.
Alphabets.
Yes, you should be not writing in one word. You should write, verify the AUT by entering lowercase alphabets. So this is one of the test scenario. Okay, so then second test scenario, can anyone verify the AUT by entering uppercase alphabets? Like this, 7 test cases you need to design, and here you need to design, you need to make it as a what are the things that you need to, like enter capital A, small a, enter small a, and click submit. What is expected? It should accept. What is expected here? It is a number, right? Should not accept. Are you getting, guys? Any questions? So these are called as a equivalence class partition. When you are writing the test case, this is the way that you need to think onto when exactly the equivalence class partitions should be called. Now imagine, any questions on the equivalence before moving to the boundary value analysis?
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Sham.
Sir, from the ETL point of view, how it will be tested, sir?
So the name equivalence class partition. So you need to make it as equal. These are all are equal. in a class. I am making this as a group in an equal class, and we are making this partitioning. So the name itself, equivalence class partition. So this is one partition as like uppercase alphabets, and this is one partition, all the special case. Like this, we need to group ourselves with all possible inputs. So that is the way that we need to think onto the equivalence class partition, and we should make this step.
That I understood, sir. But whether in ETL testing do we apply this?
ETL testing you can't able to apply, but only
Yes.
I have selected the last. In ETL testing, you will not use this, guys.
So black box testing, basically we don't use it in ETL testing.
No. Black box itself you are doing there, but you
No,
will
the
not
techniques,
use
sir,
these techniques.
Yes, sir. Techniques.
Okay. Techniques. These techniques will not be used in. But the interviewer, when you are going for ETL, still it's not like limitized. He will be asking the manual testing concepts also. That's the reason it's
Yes.
given for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's
thank you,
what. Yeah. So equivalence class is this. Now let us move to the boundary value analysis. BVA, boundary value analysis. If the AUT is given, in such a way that might be if AUT is given in such a way, so the money can able to, in an account, the money can able to transfer amount can be transferred. Okay. So this is the amount, this is the bank account where you can able to transfer the money, and it has one business logic here. The money should be greater than 1,000 rupees, and it should be less than 4,000 rupees. Then only it get transferred. Might be last 5 years back we have the whatever the price notes was there, it got changed. So that is the reason at that time you can able to transfer 5,000. You can able to transfer the amount 1,000 rupees, or you can't able to greater than 1,000 rupees you can't transfer. At that time, what you will be doing? How you will write the test cases? In this scenario, if you are considering this, any boundaries are there, you should consider this as a boundary value analysis, guys. So when you are considering this boundary value analysis, must and should, you should follow the equivalence class partition and also the boundaries such as upper boundary plus lower boundary. So this gives the boundary value analysis. So normally you will write the test cases like 1,000. It's like, what are the cases that you will be writing here? Verify the login.
Sir, 1,000.
When you see the range here, 1,000, and when you see the range here, 4,000. So you will be checking that in between. You will be checking in between from these two. It will be a positive cases, positive test cases, positive CASES cases. When you are checking above, when you are checking the greater than 4,000, when you are checking greater than 4,000, and when you are checking the less than 1,000, these two are the negative test cases. You need to write in such a way that, so 999, from 999, those should not be taken. And also it's 4,001, this is the upper limit, it should not take. This is the lower limit, it should not take. So when you are trying to keep this boundary and you are writing the test scenario, again it tells the boundary value analysis. When you are writing the boundary value also, must and should, it will be like this is the lower boundary, and this is the upper boundary. So you need to consider here lower boundary and upper boundary. So that will be given as a boundary value analysis. Now, what is last one? Decision table testing. What is the meaning of decision table testing? Might be last you have when you are doing your 10th standard or intermediate, you have seen the true table. Correct? What is the true table? When true comes true, when both are true, what will be the value here? When true, true. True, yeah, absolutely. So true. When true, false, false.
False.
When false, true. Again, it is a false. When false, false, it is false. So this is depends on the inputs. If imagine more than one input is there, more than one input is there. In the AUT, imagine the AUT has given 2 inputs. So this is one AUT. The interviewer will ask you that, okay, so this is one AUT. Let me draw here AUT. So this is one username. So if interviewer asks you username, password. So when the interviewer gives you this, the interviewer gives this the AUT to test. So when you see here more than one input is there, so you need to think that, oh, this falls on to the decision table testing. So when you are using the decision table testing, how many possible outcomes, how many scenarios you can write? So this is nothing but 2 power n. Imagine 2 power n. 2 power n is the formula for decision table testing. 2 is, n is nothing but how many inputs. So how many? 2 power 2. What is the value, ma? 2 inputs, right? 1, 2. 2 power 2. 4. 4 test cases you need to write down. If 3 inputs are there, then how many test cases you will be getting?
8.
2 power 3. Yes. 2 power 3. 8 test cases you need to write. So that's where when you will be applying the decision table is more than one input when you want to provide. And for that it has the case, like 2 power n is a formula. Now you got to know that how the application you need to test. So that's the reason I am AUT, application under testing. So this application is under testing. How you will be testing this? Yes. Any questions, guys? If you have, please let me ask before winding this session. So these are the things that even the rare topic I discussed this.
Yeah, sir.
Anything that you feel that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I, as a new testing, like a new tester, being assigned to an existing project, then how should I approach for the peer review?
Can you a little bit audible, Priyank?
Yes, sir. If I, as a new tester, being assigned to an existing project, then how should I ask for the peer review or knowledge transfer? Like, what will be the best approach?
Yeah, good question. So when you joined any organization, what it will be done? Imagine your interviews are done, and when you are going to join, so your HR will call you, and please they will try to make you onto the one of the day induction. If you are working as a permanent, if you are a contract guy, no induction, nothing. Directly you will get a call from your manager. Once you jump onto the office, Capgemini, imagine you got an offer from Capgemini and you went to the Capgemini. The manager or your superior will take you to the, he will get all the access what you want, and he will go and he will try to meet with your team members. Now once he meet with all the team members, imagine your replacement will be there, or if some folk is going away and you are coming replacement of him, your manager will try to introduce him. So his last day is so and so, and you will be the replacement for him. Or if you are the new project it is there, he will try to make you sit on one place, and he will try to pull all the team members, and he will try to make you the introduce to them. So this is the person who is going to work with you guys as a team. Now he will give one of the person as a Spock kind of stuff, and he will tell you to you if you he will help you on the access related. First of all, access on the database, access on the project related documents, everything he will support you. So that means that person will give the each and input output to you on the project. Now once it is given to you, and you need to ask to the project manager saying that who is gonna give the project KT. You need to ask directly to the manager, not your colleagues. Remember, you need to ask that with whom I will be getting the KT onto the project level. Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you need to ask to the project manager with whom I will be getting the knowledge transfer or walkthrough onto the project. So that is a good question you ask. The people will be, I will tell you that I have seen the people from sir, they will go and come. They will not ever ask the question. So the important, when you are keeping 3-4 years, you should have the commanding also. You should ask, you should know whom you need to ask first. So the project manager is the right person, or if any lead is there, the lead is the right person that who will provide you the KT. You can ask the lead. If lead is not there, then you need to ask directly to the project manager. Yeah, it answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Priyank?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Priyank. Deepti, you are asking something. Go ahead.
Sir, what are the parameters which can be useful to know the quality of test execution?
Yeah, quality of execution, it has different onto the manual testing and the this ETL, guys. So when you talk onto the ETL, what are the good, that session will be taken by the Basha. When you talk onto the manual testing, what are the good qualities? The defect should not be open. The defects, whatever you are raising, it should not be open state. It should be closed. Even a minimal or a low cosmetic defect also. Low cosmetic defects in the sense that any color changes or font changes, those are called cosmetic defects, guys. So that is called cosmetic testing also. When you are testing the font size, color size, or the size of the button, everything, it comes onto the cosmetic testing. So the good one is all your test cases should be passed. Quality of the testing is, and you should be having the evidence for each and every actual result when you are doing. And not only that, all the defects should be closed, and within the time you have done the testing there. Okay, and you have done a good amount of exploratory testing. So I have not told this. Let me tell you. Exploratory testing. Can anyone tell me what is exploratory testing? Exploratory testing. What is exploratory testing means? Imagine now Deepti, Priyank and Kiran belongs to one particular project, and you belongs to Reliance project. Now when you return all the test cases, all your regression testing is done. Regression testing means all your functional integration, it is done. Try to understand. Now I am telling that in a project, exploratory testing should be completed. That means what? None from your outside from your project, not imagine I am a manager, I have two projects, like one is Reliance and one is Big Bazaar. Now Deepti, Priyank and Krishna is from one project, testers. Now the second project, Big Bazaar project, Shiva, Kumar and one of the person, myself, is one project. Now when you see these two projects, when the Reliance project has completed all the regression, what we need to do here? Now we should tell to the other project members, boss, we completed regression. Can you do some exploratory testing? Exploratory testing means we will give only the test data to them. We will not give any test cases. We will not give any requirement to them. We will give that the unknown person how they will be testing. That is called exploratory testing. Who don't have knowledge onto the requirement, who don't have onto the domain specific, I'm telling. So each and Reliance project, how it is gonna work, we don't know. But I'm telling the other person, other team members, to do one exploratory testing, to do one random testing. If he finds any defect, please let me know. So that is called exploratory testing, without any documents, without any test cases. When he is undergoing the testing to an application, that is said to be a exploratory testing. Now tell me, what is advantage of exploratory testing? Anyone? What is advantage of exploratory testing?
We'll get different perspective where we can find out more.
Absolutely, different approaches. He is unknown person, right? He will get many more approaches, and he will be a customer basis. He will act as a customer, and he will try to go here, there, and he will try to put the things, and he will try to navigate each and every page. If he need any info, like if the product need to go and send to the WhatsApp, he will go and check each and everything. So 100% I can assure that in exploratory testing you will get which you have not tested results also. Are you getting? So if you get this after exploratory testing, you will get around 4 to 5 defects. 4 to 5 defects. 4 to 5, I can say, issues. Then what we need to do, we need to triage the defects or triage the issues. What is this is one of the interview question. What is triage? Triage is one of the meeting where we will check that what is it a really a defect, is it a really a issue onto the application, or we can give this as an enhancement onto the next release. Are you getting? Triage is nothing but a measuring the defect, whether it's properly a defect or it is like we can add this as a new enhancement onto the new release. So whatever we got the issues onto the exploratory testing, we will be having triage meeting in our side, and we will try to analyze this, whether these defects we need to fix in this release or in the later releases. Are you getting this? What is the advantage of this exploratory testing? As Krishna told, it is like we will get to know this, a random check onto the throughout the application. That is one. And second one, we will get to know the who don't have the application knowledge, how he is interacting with the application. That's two things we will be getting into the exploratory testing. So you need to, the good quality of this here is, you need to confirm this, the exploratory testing should be completed. Yeah, it's answered your question, Deepti?
Ganta.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other question, guys, before winding up? It's 5 minutes is left over.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Shyam.
Sir, in what situation this we have to do this exploratory testing, sir, and who will decide it has to be?
This is the process, project lead, project. See, where in some organization this exploratory testing they are not doing. So they will individually, the team will do, they will go off. But this is a special for you folks. When you tell that in my previous world project, I was the part who was initiated for the exploratory testing. Are you getting? So you need to know the process. You need to find many more defects than the person who is working from long 6 months. So exploratory testing will give many more outputs, many more issues. Why means you all 3 members will be stubborn onto the project, writing the test cases, doing this, pass, fail, that's all. The other mindset you don't have. But when the third person comes pitch in, he has a broad mind and he will find out many more defects.
Yes.
That is the way that you need to tell that I talked with my lead and initiated this exploratory testing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Any more questions? So 4 minutes is left over, guys. So prepare this. So keep the materials, all materials with you. Once the ETL session classes are done, this helps you a lot. So try to read at least weeks one time the manual testing concepts. Anyway, when ETL starts, this again you need to read. Again, the process you will find the same process there also.